What's poppin', y'all? PlaqueboyMax just got sent a gift by Young Thug the other day. And I'm going to play you guys this clip, and I promise it means that Young Thug's album is here.
What the f? Oh, f no, no, fuck.
Legit didn't open?
No. Oh, look at that back right. Hell no. Why the f did he send this shit?
What the
Hell no.
Spider.
This a tarantula, bro.
W Spider.
Oh my god.
The Waxster.
Here's the thing, right? Like, so I'm gonna say thank you. Oh, stop, chill. Because if I drop this, yo, D-Lou, if I drop this,
I'm joking. I'm trolling. Put it down.
So in this clip, you see PlaqueboyMax, who's the first to unbox this, and it's the new logo that Young Thug's been rocking with. I don't know if it's the new album logo, if it's a new brand logo, or if it's the new record label / team logo, because right now he's going with King Spider a lot. And keep in mind, Spider is the brand as well. But he just sent a tarantula to PlaqueboyMax, who was the first person to premiere it. If you guys recall, many moons ago, years ago, for so much fun, he sent out snakes to everybody for King Slime, YSL, Slat, the Green Snake. We saw that imagery on Gunna's early mixtapes. Young Thug was rocking with that imagery consistently, even on the Slime season mixtapes. Yet he had to do away with that. And now he's on this King Spider stuff. So him sending a spider to PlaqueboyMax, I think, is a brilliant move. Number one, the album seems to be called UI Scuddy, I believe it's pronounced, not Uwe. UI Scuddy. And it's the biggest star in the galaxy or the universe, something like that. It's actually an astronomy term. And he sent it to PlaqueboyMax first, which shows me that these guys know what they're doing. He didn't send it to Kai Cenat. That is an important distinction to make. PlaqueboyMax recently dropped an album. He is a rapper, but he also does these in the booths with other rappers, as well as actually he's only really done it with rappers that I've seen. It started off with underground rappers, and then he had mainstream rappers like Central C. And Kai Cenat, now he's just so big that it's not that Kai Cenat is lame. Let me make that very clear. It would just come off as too mainstream and kiddie for Kai Cenat to receive the first one and to really debut it. And last time, when they sent out the snakes, So Much Fun came out very, very soon after. That was really the beginning of the rollout. Academics still talks about how he has a snake that Young Thug sent him many years ago for the rollout for that album. I don't know if it's still alive, but he had that snake for years. So they're really durable, these animals that they're sending out. A tarantula is next level. And also, the glass container that it's in, I like the shape of it. I don't know if it's hexagonal. It's 3D, as opposed to just like a 4 as a rectangle instead of a rectangular prism. I think the unboxing of this looks sick. It's a dope moment. And PlaqueboyMax is the most musical streamer that's adjacent to hip-hop, where people are paying attention to, and the younger audience. So yeah, he could have sent it to who else? Joe Budden or any of these mainstream guys that are known for covering hip-hop, but I think they will get theirs. I think also Kai Cenat is eventually going to get his own tarantula as well, because they want him listening to the album. But the first person that gets it sets the tone of what's going on here. And it has been a very long time since Young Thug got out. Since he got out last November. We don't know what this project is going to sound like. A lot of people, Young Thug's been, not gassing it up, but people were saying like features are going to be 21 Savage. Who else? The usual. You guys know who the usual suspects are. I would personally like to see Young Thug get out of his comfort zone and not work with those guys. I understand why he's doing it. He's a fiercely loyal individual. We're going to see Drake on this album, by the way. If we don't see Drake on here, I will be appalled, because the level of loyalty and deference that Young Thug has shown towards Drake in all of these years, throughout this Kendrick beef, throughout the Pusha T beef, where that song he was supposed to be on with Pop Smoke and Pusha T, he was like, yo, I'm not rocking with that whole diss if it's at Drake and I'm even on the same song. It doesn't matter what it looks like. So that just goes to show, oh yeah, also Future was going to be one of those suspects. But PlaqueboyMax should have a lot of respect for himself and understand and try to maintain his brand if he cares about being respected within hip hop. Because right now, this is a nod where it's like, yo, you've got that. And he does have management. The same manager or like the person that signed him is Yeet, and he had been managing him for at least a year. But they're not going to drop this if the album's not ready. So the album seems to be ready. PlaqueboyMax is getting the first one. Who's going to get the second one? Academics is eventually going to get one. Really, you could say, oh, this is why I think PlaqueboyMax is a good audience as well. Some people will say Academics because Academics has covered Young Thug extensively, and Academics is the premier and the biggest hip hop outlet. But PlaqueboyMax also has a younger audience and a younger base that Young Thug's music will appeal to. Why do I say that? Well, Young Thug has consistently been signing younger artists. Not only Gunna, who I would say Gunna has a wide range of an audience base in terms of years, but like an individual like Nine Vicious. If you guys are unfamiliar, this guy Nine Vicious, he's signed to Young Thug's record label. Young Thug has shown him a lot of love. That guy is getting a lot of love, and there's been this underground scene in Atlanta that's been bubbling that the youth, the teenagers, early 20s, these guys are in love with it. And of course, all of these guys are just copying the same Young Thug playbook that he debuted back in 2014. 2013, I would say Young Thug was kind of normal. He was doing the I Came From Nothing mixtapes. Like he still had like the sound where you could see he was developing it, but he wasn't doing these crazy zesty antics yet. It wasn't until 2014 that he really ramped it up, and then 2015 he took it to another level, and then he slowed it down after Jeffrey. He got more into his gangster bag after that. 1300 Saint is another rapper who was on PlaqueboyMax's Atlanta EP. So PlaqueboyMax did a compilation EP that he dropped before he dropped his own solo album where he's rapping on the whole thing. I still have to listen to that EP, but 1300 Saint was one of the people on there, and 1300 Saint is signed to YSL. So these guys, there's some synergy here. This wasn't made as like a clout move where they're just like, oh, this guy's popular, he's the most popping guy, let's just send it to him. This adds up for the lore. So you got a strong community that are going to support this album, and you just look at PlaqueboyMax's numbers, that's going to do crazy numbers in comparison to what the majority of rappers are doing nowadays. And I'm not saying crazy like 20k plus. I would say a little bit over 10k. If it does 10 11k, that's outstanding because it's just his community. It's not outside people discovering it. There's not a hit song to it yet, which matters a lot. And this also what happened to Young KO? You guys remember that guy? So a lot of Young Thug's label is really just like spawns of him. It's kind of like a shadow clone, like Naruto thing. I promise I really don't watch anime, but I did watch like that as a kid. I know that reference. So don't like ask me, don't start G-checking me like, yo, do you know this? Unfortunately, I probably don't. So this works out great. I'm looking forward to this, but it tells me that Young Thug is not trying to go for a single with this album drop, which is, I like it. I personally like it, but I think people are going to judge it more harshly. Because when you don't have a single, it's difficult for the album to carry on selling well consistently. Now, granted, with So Much Fun, which was the last big project by Young Thug, can you believe that was 6 years ago? Like, yeah, he has dropped other songs since then, but what ended up being the hit out of that album? They dropped the London initially, but the London wasn't even the one that did the most streams out of that whole project. What turned into the hit was Hot, and that was released on as a single with Travis Scott on October 31st, 2019, when the project itself released August of 2019. So perhaps like London released before, so they were trying to get a hit for this song. And the London is, would we call it a classic song? I would say the London is a song that we all recognize and we love, but it just didn't end up being that slapper that Hot did. I wouldn't be surprised if Young Thug learned his lesson, because after that they had Slime and B, which had the song Go Crazy, which was a wild radio song. That was a smash hit, top 10 for maybe a year or so. But yeah, the Hot song had like 500 million plus on one version, which was the remix, and 400 million on the other. So it had over 1 billion streams. And even Bad 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 was performing very, very well, but not as good as the London. But I think Young Thug is learning from Punk, which was lackluster in comparison to So Much Fun. And in Punk, it just seemed like he was trying to go for these smash hits. Like when you looked at the feature list on Punk, you had Juice WRLD, you had Post Malone and A$AP Rocky on a song, you had Drake and Travis Scott on another song, Bubbly, you had a song with Doja Cat, Icy Hot, you had Mac Miller, which isn't somebody that's going to grant you a smash hit, but you could clearly tell he had a song with J. Cole as well. You could tell that they were trying to catch one for this, and while there are, like, Bubbly did stream well, none of these have even streamed close to what Bad 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 did. Not even, maybe not even half. Like 188 million was Bubbly with Drake and Travis Scott, and Punk released 5 years ago. So I think they tried that formula with Punk, and they had a good rollout for Punk. I don't think they did anything wrong, but it just didn't pan out that way. And now, with business is business, I don't really judge business is business as a part of Young Thug's discography. Like, sure, he dropped it, but it was under weird circumstances. It's like the bubble. When the NBA was playing in the bubble, it's like, yeah, a championship happened that year. We're not going to take away the fact that a championship happened and the person that won the championship earned the championship. But there is a completely different environment and scenario when there aren't crowds and you're confined in the space and you don't consistently have to travel, and the wear and tear of that, and how some people are more durable to that than others. With business is business, he was locked up. He had to put this together from behind bars. A lot of these songs were already made. Part of the reason why it dropped was to try to step on Gunna's release. So there was, I wouldn't say malice, but there was an element of vengeance that was trying to be exacted with this album to prove a point. And I think it was also trying to capitalize and generate some money for this lawsuit that he had to face. And he had Drake as a feature on here multiple times. He had the song Oh You Went and Parade on Cleveland. But I think we're going to see another Drake feature. It's a no-brainer. But one thing that also, so I think what they're going to do is, instead of trying to go for the smash hit, Thug, people stream Thug's projects. They like Thug's mixtapes. He's a project-based artist in the same way that Uzi is a projects-based artist, in the same way that Playboi Carti is a projects-based artist, and partially in the same way that Migos were project-based artists. Unfortunately, Migos, they're not here anymore. But a lot of these artists / rappers that came up in this period were, for example, like the contrast is Tyga, who's a singles-based artist. We don't care about a Tyga album. Now, a Tyga album may stream well if he's got a smash single, but if he doesn't have a smash, people are really not interested. The same goes for, there are other extremes that we can get into, but that's why a lot of hip hop acts outsell some of the biggest pop stars. Like, for instance, Khalid, Camila Cabello, Halsey. Like, you think of these artists as huge, gigantic. Yes, but a lot of rappers outsell them. Like, Cardi's outselling them. Even smaller rappers like Young Thug, Gunna even is outselling them. And that's not to say Young Thug is a small artist, but artists that you would think like they're not doing shows as big as them. Well, it's because rappers have a stronger base of fans that are willing to listen to projects, because we came up on mixtapes. It wasn't like, we're just listening to singles here. So I like the direction they're going. But one thing that I also want to add is, you guys remember Slime Language 2, when it was this collective tape for YSL, and it was a Young Stoner Life tape, and he was trying to put on a bunch of people. Yeah, Gotti was one of them. B Slime. He had he had Unfunk on there as well. Who else did he have? He had who was his girlfriend? Jerica Carle at the time. He had all of these people that he was really helping out with this tape, and it did well. People messed with it. I'm interested in whether or not we're going to see a tape like this in the next 2 years for this new roster that he's building up with people like 1300 Saint and Nine Vicious and others. And if something like this happens, will a PlaqueboyMax be contributing to building out a tape like that? Like, that would be legendary. Like, he's in there, they're streaming, they're building out the tape. But I do think that there's an element of mystery that needs to be had with a guy like Young Thug. Young Thug is kind of like Hagrid. I haven't even watched Harry Potter, but the figure makes sense. He's like an individual like Hagrid, a bit of a wizard, somebody that's an elder, where you don't really know what he's up to. You don't know what he's doing. You just know that he's working. So I feel like if we get to witness Young Thug's process in real time on a stream, I don't think it hits the same. However, those other guys that he's signed to, them doing that work on a live stream with Max and that helping build the hype for a collective tape for the new project that Young Thug is working on. I'm not talking about UI Scuddy. I'm talking about another tape, which is going to happen. It's almost like a mistake if it doesn't happen in like 2 years or so, and build up in this new roster that he wants to push. There's a lot of exciting things that can come from Young Thug's future, or that can come for Young Thug's future. However, number one thing that I am looking forward to is I need a Mariah the Scientist track. Like, I mess with Mariah the Scientist heavy. I'm telling y'all, her music is great. I need her on a track. That's what I need her on a track with Young Thug. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Are you looking forward to this rollout? Do you think that him sending it to Max first was a good idea, or do you think that there could have been somebody better that they had sent it to? Let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed, and I'm gonna see y'all on the next one.